Have you ever heard of a mystery so chilling it makes your blood run cold? Let's talk about the Dyatlov Pass incident, a true story that has baffled investigators for over 60 years. In the winter of 1959, 9 experienced young hikers ventured into Russia's Ural Mountains. Led by Igor Dyatlov, they were supposed to conquer Otorten Mountain. They never came back. When a search party finally found their campsite, the scene was pure horror. Their tent was sliced open from the inside, and barefoot footprints led out into the freezing snow. It was clear they had fled in a panic, leaving behind all their gear and warm clothing in sub-zero temperatures. The discoveries only got stranger. The first 2 bodies were found by a tree, barely dressed and with burned hands. It looked like they were desperately trying to climb to safety. 3 more were found frozen between the tree and the tent, their faces contorted in sheer terror as if they were trying to run back. But the last 4 hikers, found months later in a deep ravine, had injuries that defied all logic. One had a crushed skull with no external wound. Another had broken ribs with the force of a car crash, but again, no bruising on the skin. One woman was missing her tongue and eyes. To make it even weirder, some of their clothes were radioactive. What could have happened? The official Soviet investigation concluded it was a compelling natural force, then sealed the case for decades. Theories range from an avalanche to secret military weapons testing. Some people whispered about local legends of a Yeti. Others reported seeing strange orange orbs of light in the sky that night, suggesting a UFO encounter. None of these theories fully explain everything. Why would they cut their way out of the tent? Why run barefoot into a blizzard? What caused those brutal internal injuries without leaving a mark on the outside? And what about the radiation? To this day, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most terrifying unsolved mysteries in history. 9 people encountered something on that mountain, something so horrifying that they ran to their deaths to escape it. The truth is still buried out there, somewhere in the snow. What do you think happened? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you love diving into dark mysteries like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Have you ever heard a story so strange, so chilling, that it sticks with you for days? This is one of those. It's about the disappearance of Brandon Swanson, and what makes it so haunting is that his parents heard it all happen, live, over the phone. Imagine this, it's May 14th, 2008. 19-year-old college student Brandon Swanson is driving home late at night in rural Minnesota. It's a route he knows well. But around him, his car slides into a ditch. He's not hurt, just stuck. So, he does what any of us would do. He calls his parents for a ride. For the next 47 minutes, Brandon stays on the line with them, walking through the pitch-black fields, trying to describe his location. He talks about fences, gravel roads, and distant lights he can see. His parents drive frantically, following his directions, but they can't find him. It's like he's in a completely different place. At one point, he tells them, "I can see you. I'm flashing my lights." But his parents see nothing, just empty darkness. Despite the confusion, Brandon sounds calm, just a little frustrated. He tells them he's going to walk towards the lights of a nearby town called Lynn. His dad stays on the phone, listening to the sound of his son's footsteps on the gravel. Then, everything changes. Suddenly, Brandon cuts himself off with a sharp, startled whisper. "Oh, shh." And just like that, the line goes dead. Silence. His parents call back immediately, again and again. The phone rings, but no one ever answers. The search began almost instantly. Search dogs traced Brandon's scent trail through fields and along a river. But then, in the middle of a field, the trail just stopped. It was as if he vanished into thin air. Later, they found his car, but it was a staggering 25 miles away from where Brandon thought he was. The landscape he described to his parents simply didn't match his actual location. For months, hundreds of volunteers and police scoured every inch of the area: fields, rivers, abandoned farms. They found nothing. No phone, no wallet, not a single piece of clothing. To this day, Brandon Swanson has never been found. What happened out there in the dark? Did he fall into an unseen well? Did he stumble into the river? Or did something more sinister happen right after that final whispered word? The most chilling part is that his phone continued to ring for hours after he disappeared. The mystery of Brandon Swanson is a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly a normal night can turn into an unending nightmare. Thanks for listening. If you find stories like this as compelling as I do, make sure to follow for more. Deep in the mountains of southwestern Vermont, there's a stretch of wilderness so mysterious, so unsettling, that it earned a chilling nickname, the Bennington Triangle. It's a place where the veil between our world and another seems terrifyingly thin. Between 1945 and 1950, a series of bizarre disappearances haunted the towns around Glastonbury Mountain. These weren't ordinary missing person cases. People vanished in broad daylight, without a trace, as if they were plucked from reality. It all started with Mitty Rivers, a seasoned hunter who knew those woods like the back of his hand. In 1945, while leading a group, he walked just a few steps ahead on a familiar path and was gone. An extensive search found nothing. No footprints, no weapon, no sign of struggle. He just evaporated. A year later, the most famous case gripped the nation. 18-year-old Paula Weldon, a college student, went for a hike on the long trail. She was wearing a bright red coat, making her easy to spot. Witnesses saw her round a bend in the trail, and then she was never seen again. A massive search involving the U.S. Army turned up absolutely nothing. The case was so baffling it led to the creation of the Vermont State Police, yet it remains cold to this day. Then there was James Tedford, a war veteran traveling home on a bus in 1949. 14 other passengers saw him sleeping in his seat. But when the bus arrived at his stop, he was gone. His luggage, his wallet, everything was still on the bus. But James had vanished from a moving vehicle without anyone noticing. Just a few weeks later, 8-year-old Paul Jepson disappeared from his family's farm. Bloodhounds tracked his scent towards the mountain, and then the trail just stopped cold, as if he was lifted right off the ground. The final official victim was Frida Langer in 1950. After slipping in a stream, she told her cousin she was heading back to camp to change, just a short walk away. She never made it. Months later, her body was found in an area that had already been searched dozens of times. How did it get there? No one knows. What connects these cases is the sheer impossibility. People vanishing in seconds. Search dogs losing sense in the middle of a trail. Witnesses seeing nothing. Legends of the area speak of strange lights, disembodied voices, and violent, unpredictable winds. Some even mention a large, Bigfoot-like creature. Native American folklore warns that the mountain itself swallows people. So what is it? A paranormal vortex? A serial killer who left no evidence? Or something else entirely? Even now, hikers report a sudden, deafening silence, a feeling of being watched, and an overwhelming sense of dread. The Bennington Triangle holds its secrets close, reminding us that some places on this earth are best left undisturbed. Thanks for watching. This story is often called America's Dyatlov Pass, because just like that infamous case, nothing about it makes any sense. It begins on the night of February 24th, 1978. 5 young men from Yuba County, California, drove off to a basketball game at Chico State. They were close friends, all with mild intellectual disabilities or psychiatric conditions, but known by everyone as good, responsible kids. Their families expected them home that night. They never returned. Hours later, their car, a Mercury Montego, was found abandoned on a remote mountain road, deep inside the Plumas National Forest. It was miles and miles from where they should have been. The strange part? The car was perfectly fine. It wasn't stuck, it had gas, and it started right up. But it was empty. It was as if the five men had just stepped out and vanished into the freezing darkness. Massive search parties scoured the mountains, but heavy snowstorms quickly buried any potential clues. Weeks turned into months with no sign of them. Then, in June, when the snow finally began to melt, the mystery only deepened. The first body was found inside a U.S. Forest Service trailer, a staggering 19 miles from where the car was abandoned. It was Ted Wire. He had starved to death, despite the cabin being filled with food, heating supplies, and bedding. Evidence showed he'd been alive in that trailer for more than 13 weeks, slowly wasting away. Inside that same trailer, searchers found the shoes of another one of the men, Gary Mathias. But Gary himself was gone. He has never been found. Down the road, in opposite directions, they found the skeletal remains of Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling. It looked like they had split up and tried to walk for help, but simply succumbed to the elements. A few days later, the remains of the fifth man, Jackie Hoot, were found nearby. The biggest question is why? Why were they even up there? They were 70 miles off course in dangerous mountain terrain they never would have driven into voluntarily. Theories flew around. Was it a simple wrong turn? Unlikely. They knew the main roads. Were they chased or forced up the mountain? There was no evidence of foul play on their bodies or the car. Did one of them have a psychiatric episode that caused a panic? Perhaps, but why leave a warm, working car to walk 20 miles uphill in street clothes through the snow? Some locals mentioned seeing a mystery man on those roads that night, but he was never identified. The behavior of the men is so illogical, so irrational, that it defies explanation. The most heartbreaking detail? If they had just opened one more door in that trailer, they would have found a storage room packed with enough food and supplies to keep all five of them alive for months. But for some reason, they didn't. To this day, the case of the Yuba County Five remains one of America's most chilling and unsolvable mysteries. Five friends went to a basketball game and walked into a puzzle that has never been pieced together. Thanks for watching.